Thank you very much for joining me in this evening, viewers and subscribers. Now, the African Action Congress, the AAC, the Federal Capital Territory chapter has petitioned the EFCC to investigate Nyesom Wike. The reason they are calling for Nyesom Wike's investigation is that Nyesom Wike, they describe Nyesom Wike's tenure as the FCT minister as the tenure of impunity. And they have given their reasons why they believe, and they are petitioning EFCC to investigate Nyesom Wike. That Nyesom Wike is living above his means, both when he was the governor of Rivers State. If you combine the amount of money in his allowances and salaries, and then combining what he has earned as the Federal Capital Territory minister for these 2 years, it is not up to the life that Nyesom Wike displays. The affluence that he displays, you cannot combine his fortunes to match the extravaganza that he demonstrates. Now they are asking the EFCC to investigate the amount of money that Nyesom Wike pronounced that will use International Conference Center and Bola Ahmed Tinubu Center. And they asked questions about how Nyesom Wike allocated sensitive lands, a sensitive position in the Federal Capital Territory to his family members. The greatest among them is the Nyesom Wike's recent acquisition of a property in the United States, Florida to be specific, a property that is worth $2 million. And then they are asking that where does Nyesom Wike, where has he gotten all these funds to acquire these properties? That the EFCC must investigate Nyesom Wike. Let him declare his assets and let him tell the Nigerian people where he has gotten the money to acquire all these properties that he flaunts. I'll bring you the details of how the African Action Congress has petitioned the EFCC that they must investigate Nyesom Wike. But before I bring you these details, I want to tell you that Magnus Oraka recently or yesterday came out and spoke about the betrayal that is going on in the southeast against Peter Gregory. The Ohaneze, which I believe that they are the top mother organization whenever it comes to Igbo tradition, because that is the highest organization in Igbo land, to my belief, that I believe that is supposed to be there to speak for the interest of the Igbos. But recently we have seen a betrayal, and that betrayal is within the hands of the Ohaneze. They came out recently and said no Igbo man should contest against Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That is until 2034 or 2031 before any Igbo man should consider contesting the presidency, but nobody should come out and contest against Bola Ahmed Tinubu. When they have a son in Peter Gregory, that entire country is supporting, the entire country is gunning for to become president of this country. But now they have betrayed that belief, coming out to put another person first against their own son. I didn't want to speak about this because it has some tribal connotation, but I'm not Igbo. So if I come out to speak about this situation, I'm speaking on a very neutral ground. Just watch this video and listen to what Magnus Oraka said, and after this video, we'll come back and talk about it.
Quite frankly, I'm beginning to think that the most difficult job to do is to back and support an Igbo presidency, is to support the Southeast. Because just when you think they are the most easiest people to support, you begin to see shades of characters that defies human explanation. I mean, how do you explain where everybody in a group of people are individualized? Everybody just think about himself alone. Nobody is thinking about the collective good, about us. As bad as I think maybe South tribalism is in the Southwest, at least they think about their interests. This one, nobody is fighting for a collective interest. Everybody represents the interest based on his own. He believes his own interest represents the interest of everybody. Now, no wonder most of these youths in the Southeast don't respect their elders, because if the elders of the elders who call themselves Ohaneze Indigbo can be acting like this, what is left for them to be respected? Is it the red cap where they wear for head? Is it? I'm gonna give my red card back away. Quick, bring my red card for the video run for me. If not red card, Ross, bring my red card for me. I've been at the red card where they wear. What rubbish is this? That no Igbo man should contest for presidency until 2035. How stupid can that comment be? Now, that means the Igbo man should wait for the remaining 2 years of the Southwest, making 2 years. Then another 4 years of Tinubu, making 6 years. Then that is 2031. Then an Hausa man will not the northern man will come in and rule for another 4 years. Who told that the north will rule for 4 years and then bring it back to the south? You think the north will do that? Because when you say 2035, the Igbos will come at 2035. That means it is assumed that the Hausa people, the north, sorry, will rule for. Will never bring my red cap. Huh? Bring the red cap, make I wear. If na red cap, now they make person become Hanese. Make I wear my own. You understand? So, if they are say no Igbo man should come, that means the next Igbo man should wait till 2039. 2039. That is how many years from now? This is 2025. That is 14 years from now. Some of you that are there, would you be alive till that time? Would you be alive till that time? It's amazing that you guys will be mortgaging the futures of your children for the purpose of how much they give you, and that if that time comes, if the East will produce a flag bearer, it will be David Umahi. David, this Umahi. Umahi, who know Umahi? Look, if Peter Obi does not get the presidency or the flag bearership of any party, if you people are prepared to sabotage Peter Obi for some weird reason known to you people, I don't know, I would tell you that in the history of this country, an Igbo man will not be president based on an election. You guys don't know this, Ohaneze. You guys don't know the precariousness of the situation of the Igbo. You guys are playing with it, thinking it's something you can joke.
You watched the video, right? You heard everything Magnus Oraka said. In my position, I want to establish clearly, just the way I said, I'm not an Igbo man. I'm not even from the south. I'm from the middle belt. So whatever assessment I made here, whatever observation, whatever my judgment is about this whole situation, I don't think anyone will crucify me. The whole country now is throwing their weight behind Peter Gregory, not because he's an Igbo man. Because most of the people that are supporting Peter Gregory, judging by the proportion of people supporting Peter Obi from different regions of the country, shows that not using his tribe and the region of the country he comes from as a yardstick for that acceptance. But he has gained this popularity because of his lifestyle, what he did when he was in office, his credibility and competence, and what we are seeing him do right now in his personal capacity. He has committed his funds to support Nigerians. I don't want to talk about how much he has used after 2023 elections, because we have talked about that so many times on this platform. So that is why Peter Gregory is accepted today. And then Ohaneze, Ndigbo, that will believe that their sole aim is to promote the success of Igbos, is coming out to tell Igbos that no Igbo man should contest election against Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I see the hand of inducement all over this statement or this position that they have made. Why is it that it's very, very difficult for Igbos to unite together for their cause? I'm not being ethnically biased here. I don't come from that part of the country. But I'm saying this because of competence. If you had a Hope Uzodinma, I would never support if people in the southeast are like Hope Uzodinma, or what do you call him, Charles Soludo. I would never have supported an Igbo presidency in this country. Because without their competence, what will make me align to them? But the reason we are supporting Peter Gregory Obi, why he has support from the north, the south, the west, and every part of this country, is his competence. But have the Ohaneze and Igbo given us any good reason why they come out to say no Igbo man should contest elections against Bola Ahmed Tinubu till 2031? 2031, when it will be the original turn of the north. Then you want to tell the north that, okay, you are supporting an Igbo presidency. So why is it very difficult? You cannot do that in the west. Everybody knows that in the west is about the tribe. The language they understand is their tribe. The decision they made have that tribalistic idea around it. Even though there are some people that don't buy to that tribalistic position or idea or conviction in the West. But I tell you, 80% of Western population believe that any decision, not just political decision, any decision they make has that tribal connotation on it. You see the way they are persecuting Aregbesola? They are calling him an ethnic apostate and a regional traitor for supporting candidates in the ADC against Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now they want to ostracize him completely. I played a video about what Igboho said about Rauf Aregbesola. You cannot try that in Arewa. The Arewa Consultative Forum or Arewa elders won't come out to tell you that this candidate from the north allow a southerner. When it's time for the south, or when it's time for maybe a Fulani, now we are talking about the Igbos. But when everybody sees that, okay, this is the specific, a Fulani man is coming out, then a Fulani organization, the mother organization in Fulani land will come out and say that Fulani man should step down for a Yoruba man. Will it happen? But this is the betrayal we are seeing from the southeast today. But I thank God that the Ohaneze Igbo does not control the decision of every Igbo man in southeast. They have their independent decisions to make. And I believe that most of them have come out to criticize that position of Ohaneze. But these people should trade with caution. You should have that unity. We are supporting Peter Gregory Obi today, not because he's an Igbo man, but because he has the competence. If I see a Yoruba man that is vying for presidency, that is more competent than Peter Obi, I will be supporting him. All we want is a good Nigeria to be possible. If I see a Fulani man and I believe that he has the competence to promote the interests of Nigeria, I will support him against Peter Gregory Obi. But among the top political figures that are vying for presidency, it's not a saint, but he's better than all of them, which is the only option we have. That is why we're supporting. Now let's get back to my first story as I bring you the details of what the African Action Congress, the petition that they have written to EFCC to investigate Nyesom Wike. And then after these details, we'll come back and wrap up this update. AAC petitions EFCC, demands Wike's probe over $2 million US mansion, 39 billion naira ICC renovation, land gift to 90-year-old father, other relations. The African Action Congress, AAC, Federal Capital Territory Chapter has petitioned the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, demanding urgent investigation into what it described as egregious corruption practices by the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike. In the petition, dated August 24, 2025, and signed by the chapter chairman, Agenda Robert Ande, the party accused Wike of presiding over a regime of impunity in the FCT, characterized by abuse of office, illicit enrichment, nepotism, and fraudulent contract awards. Our exhaustive investigation revealed a pervasive pattern of corruption, abuse of office, and illicit enrichment, necessitating immediate investigation and action, the party told the EFCC chairman. The AAC noted that Wike had been presently allocating prime Abuja lands to his relative, and cronies, including his 90-year-old father, Joshua Ilemanya Wike, who was said to have been gifted a plot of land in Guzape 2 worth about 400 million. The party described the allocation as a clear case of nepotism, demonstrating Wike's disregard for public interest and his readiness to exploit his office for personal and family benefits. The petition further noted that Wike had acquired a luxury mansion in Florida, United States, valued at $2 million, a property far beyond his declared income as a Nigerian public officer whose annual salary and allowance amount to about 7.8 million naira. Wike's acquisition of luxury mansion in Florida, USA, worth $2 million, raises serious concerns about illicit enrichment, cross-border money laundering, and abuse of office, the petition added. The AAC also questioned Wike's handling of the renovation of the International Conference Center (ICC) in Abuja, which has since been renamed the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center. The party said the project consumed a staggering 39 billion naira before it was inaugurated on June 10, 2025. The manner at which the FCT Minister Wike makes oral figures without breaking down is worrisome. The enormity of this amount for renovation of a hall suggests gross mismanagement and embezzlement, the petition declared, insisting that the EFCC must probe the contract and the flow of funds. In addition, Wike's administration was accused of inflating the cost of road construction projects in the capital city, with the AAC warning that the extraordinary figures being announced by the minister pointed to deliberate corruption and overbilling at the expense of the Nigerian people.
You've heard it right. Now, when the first land fraud came out with Nyesom Wike's name, when he first allocated the lands to Abuja worth 3 billion dollars, Nigerians came out and called for an investigation against Nyesom Wike. When the second one happened again, the total value of the lands that he allocated to his children, if you sum up the amount, it was running to about 5 billion dollars. The outcry was too much that Bola Ahmed Tinubu came out and did this notice me, and Nigerians should notice that he wanted to investigate Nyesom Wike. But after that, everything has gone quiet. Nobody talks about investigating Nyesom Wike again. Before we had that 2 million property in Florida. So, to what extent will Nyesom Wike commit fraudulent activities in the Federal Capital Territory before the government or these institutions begin to investigate him? We are talking about an international conference center that was built for less than 500 million, even less than 300 million naira. And then you are renovating the property with 39 billion without any breakdown to tell Nigerians that this is what you did, this is how this was purchased. Nothing. So Nyesom Wike is carrying out these corrupt practices in the Federal Capital Territory with pride because he feels that nobody can question him. Bola Ahmed Tinubu cannot even put him through that scrutiny, call for an investigation, a proper investigation to know what is really going on in Federal Capital Territory, because it's Nyesom Wike. That is why I always come to a conclusion that Nyesom Wike cannot independently be carrying out this fraud that is happening in the FCT. He must have approval from the powers that be. If not, right now, Nyesom Wike would have been investigated. Because they didn't come out to deny the documents that came out regarding the land fraud. They were documents carrying his name. And after that, people who were exposed that fraud were penalized in the Federal Capital Territory. But none of them dared to come out and refute the document, the validity of the documents. Even Rufai Hussein recently called Larry, or what do you call him, Nyesom Wike's PA, to come out and speak about the land fraud in the Federal Capital Territory. He was afraid. He changed the conversation immediately. But Bola Ahmed Tinubu is sitting there looking at this fraud going on, people being sacked from their lands. And then these are lands, ancestral lands are collected and then allocated to politicians. and their families. And then everybody goes back to sleep. And we have institution there. Does the EFCC or ICPC or any of these institutions need the approval of Bola Ahmed Tinubu to do their work? Why is it that they are allowing all this fraud to fly? Fraud that has already been exposed with documents. What else do you need? Without silence, that is why the African Action Congress is petitioning, forcing the EFCC to investigate Nyesom Wike. These people, they chook count for our eyes like this because they know say we don't get anything to do there. Let's drop it here for now. Thank you very much for watching my videos. Always remember to subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Please turn on the notification bell so that you'll be the first person to be notified whenever I have another update. Write your comments in the comment section so I can hear your thoughts and opinions about my videos, and always remember to give me a thumbs up for my videos. Thank you very much. We meet very soon.